My peoples. My peoples. Set this thing up over here. Hold on, my peoples. I'm still missing equipment over here. Hold on, my peoples, before we kick this thing off. Hold on one second. Okay, now we ready to get this thing started. My peoples, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. Y'all know how we do it. We talking boxing. That's what we do, right? I'm gonna kick this thing off right away with the main topic of conversation. The controversial stoppage of Joe Parker by Fabio Wardley. We was talking about it yesterday, and it's the topic of conversation across all social media. Different platforms are addressing it, and people feel differently about it. Some people feel like it's a good stoppage. Some people feel like it wasn't. And I felt like the right thing to do was to bring a referee to give us his take. And I had the opportunity to have Hall of Fame ref, iconic referee, man, Joe Cortez, and he joined me for about an hour. Gave me his take on what he felt should have happened and did happen in that fight, and he agreed with the stoppage. He said that you'd rather see a fighter, you know, go out on his feet and people might not like it than them go out on a stretcher. And as a referee, you have to make that decision. And something that I mentioned earlier in the morning, well, in yesterday's episode of Boxing for Breakfast, is that the referees are looking at what's happening in the previous rounds. You know, that's part of the stoppage. People are only looking at the sequence right then and there. But after the 10th round, most likely the referee did go to his corner to Joseph Parker and say, hey, look, I got to see something here. If I don't see you defending yourself, or I'm going to be watching closely. And he wasn't, it's tough to say, man, that he was defending. If you want to say, he was slipping punches and blocking them, but if you look at the replay, man, it's not about the punches that he was slipping and blocking. It's about the punches that was landing. And he was eating. Look, even Joseph Parker said it. I wanted to keep going, but it's a fair stoppage. The referee felt he saw enough. Fair enough. I give him all the credit for winning. So Joseph Parker, he accepted. He know that he wanted to keep going, but he was taking punishment. MAW, hello boxing fans, Jane chat. Subscribe, share, and smash that like button. Salute MAW. Bam, you already know it, my G. We talking boxing, doing what we do. And the first in the comments, in the building, of course. MAW's in the building, the first one. So, MAW, did you have the opportunity to check out the live yesterday with referee Joe Cortez? I think he was very precise, very comprehensive in the way that he laid it out. In fact, Joe spoke about a story where a fight got stopped and the fighter wasn't happy with the stoppage. He was upset about it. And guess what? He ended up landing in the hospital, and I think it was 2 days later, passed away. So just because the fighter's saying, I'm good, I'm good, I'm good, that doesn't mean that they're actually good. Don't get it twisted. So it's okay to disagree. It's okay if you wanted the fight to keep going. But I think as someone who's a referee or been a referee, or someone who's been a fighter, by the way, a lot of people don't know this, but Joe Cortez was also a professional boxer. I think he had a record of like 19-1 or something like that. So You know, that was his take on it. I agree with it 100%. I felt like that. And by the way, if you were on the live after round number 10, right, finished, I was saying that he was hurt. He didn't have his legs under him. And for round number 11, after like a minute into the round, when I saw Joseph Parker had thrown barely any punches, I said it. I was like, yo, he's still hurt. He's still hurt from from that last round. So, and the referees, the same thing that I was seeing, the referee was seeing. He was hurt. He was hurt. So the stoppage, my peoples, I know that, there are folks that are going to disagree, that are going to say, nah, I think it could have kept going. And I understand that, but, man, listen, when you're the one in there taking punches, it's a different ball game. It's a whole different ball game, my peoples. Timmy T, did Joe Cortez talk about Floyd versus Victor Ortiz fight? We did not get to. He mentioned it, but I don't. We didn't have a conversation specifically about it, man. And I wish we would have spoke about it, but now that you mention it, I actually thought about it. MAW, I must have missed it. Your night next day morning, for me. So I must have missed it. Shaking my head. I'll watch the replay after this. Yes, look, we was on. Just you could fast forward it to when Joe comes in. He joined me about maybe like 20 minutes into the live, but he was with me for like close to an hour. And listen, he spoke about his experience as a referee, fights that he got to witness that fighters died. The referee, how he himself, approaches it. Like, I'd rather fans boo me and a guy go home to his family than him taken out in a stretcher because people want to let it keep going. So check it out. He spoke about a lot of different things that he's witnessed in his iconic career. So very good conversation with Joe. Salute to Joe Cortez, man. Great guy. And I think if you felt that the fight should have kept going, if you listen to what Joe Cortez has to say, that may change your opinion. Not for everybody, because I know some people will be dead set on, it can't be. But come on, a Hall of Fame referee telling us, like, yo, this is the way that it played out. This is what's taken. And it's crazy because I'm even going to do an edit. I'm going to do a video, an edit, right? To show you guys what I said in yesterday's episode of Boxing for Breakfast versus what Joe Cortez said on Boxing Live at night. And you're going to see that what he said was almost identical to what I said in the morning. Al Booger, salute, my brother. Bam! What he said was almost identical, my peoples. And I'm going to clip it to put what I said next to what he said so that you guys can see. He spoke about, remember I said that in the morning, he spoke about the fact that it's not just a sequence. The previous round is taken into account by the referee and by the doctors. And he said that after the 10th round finished, what he would have done and what probably happened is that he would have went to the corner and told the fighter, listen, I got to see something in this round coming up. If you're not defending yourself, if I don't see you throwing punches, I'm going to pull the plug. That's what normally happens, and that's what probably did happen because Joseph Parker damn near stumbled to his corner after the 10th round. So the referee is taking this into account. Okay, this fighter got stunned. Let's see how he's going to react in round number 11. And how did he react? He wasn't throwing punches, and he was eating a lot of them. People take into account the punches that was missing. And it's almost like you want to disregard the punches that was landing and hard. So I need you to understand, if I throw 50 punches at you and I land with 20, It's gonna feel like you slipping a lot of punches because you slipped 30 punches. But those 20 crushing blows that landed are doing damage. The referee seeing that. And let me tell you something, my people. When you're standing right there next to the fighters and they punching each other, those sound different than what they sound on TV. A lot louder. And that's what I told you before. Sometimes you see a block punch and you're like, oh, he blocked that punch. But when you're in person and the fighter on TV, you see him blocking that punch, and in person you see, poof! You hear that sound? Now he felt that. He blocked it. But trust me, he felt that. Me personally, my peoples, as an amateur boxer, I got my nose broken blocking a punch. I blocked it successfully and got my nose broken. Why? Because I was like this down, and as I was coming up, I had my hands right in front of my face like this. Right there. Broke my nose. Off of a block punch. So don't get it twisted, my peoples. Just because a punch didn't land flush doesn't mean that it did no damage. That's not the case. Block punches. Now, sometimes you could block a punch and it doesn't really do much. But there's a lot of times, my people, where a block punch can hurt you. And Joseph Parker, the type of damage that he was taking, he was getting hurt. And that's the thing, man. You know, these guys are warriors. Most fighters are not going to pull the plug on themselves. Most fighters are not going to say, nah, I'm done, I'm good. That's not going to happen. They're going to fight. That's what fighters do. My peoples, welcome to another episode of Boxing for Breakfast, man. Trying to give you a healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. That's my breakfast, my peoples, you know. Little omelet, toast. You know, sunlight. Get the day going. MAW, dang. I just seen I missed 2 lives, Jay Smith. You got a good stack of metal there. I noticed a while ago. Forgot to ask. So that's for running. I'm a runner. I run marathons. I'm a long distance runner. And I've participated in a lot of events. So that's what that's from, my guy. My peoples. If you did not have the opportunity to check out the live from yesterday, please check it out. I promise you, it's going to be something that you'll enjoy. You know, Joe Cortez shares some great knowledge, shares some great stories, you know, of things that he's witnessed throughout his iconic career. Check out that live, my peoples. Robert Tompkins, what's good, bro? What's the deal, Robert? Bam, we talking boxing, my G. In case you missed it, Hall of Fame ref Joe Cortez joined me yesterday on Box Center Live at night. And we was politicking for about an hour. Great conversation. And I tell you guys, man, Joe Cortez, he a great guy. He not just a great referee, he a great guy overall. He knows that I'm somewhere in the Caribbean, right? And we started the conversation. The first thing he asked me about is how is everything over here? Because I told him I'm in the Dominican Republic. I don't know if you guys know about what's about to go down in Jamaica, like one of the biggest storms in history. People evacuating their homes and everything. The first thing Joe asked me is how I'm doing. How is everything over here where I'm at? So instead of getting right into it, he wanted to know how I was. You know, like that's the type of guy Joe Cortez is, man. Salute to Joe. Bam. And listen, my peoples. Pray for Jamaica, man. Pray for our Jamaican brothers and sisters, because it might get ugly out there. It might get real ugly. If you guys noticed, I've been on live twice in the last couple of days where the live just dropped. I just dropped off. And I thought it was people probably maybe reporting the channel or something. Because y'all know I've been cooking people. So I figure, okay, maybe people getting cooked out here. And because I'm cooking them, they reported the channel. But now I think that the reason I've been losing my signal is because of that storm. Because, yo, look how it looks out there. My people's, it's been like that for days already. See? So I think that's the reason why I probably lost that signal a couple of times and just dropped off. So, and by the way, let me give you guys the heads up. If that happens, let's say I'm just talking and boom, the signal just falls and the live drop. I'm going to come back. Remember that. Give me like a minute or two and then I'll be back. Because yesterday, yo, it was like 30 of us and the shit just dropped. Boom. And it took me like 2 minutes to get back. By the time I got back, everybody was gone. Everybody was like, nah, man, Jay left, he done. And I wasn't done, I came back. Or if you watching an episode of Boxing for Breakfast or Boxing Alive at night, and I just drop off, all I can tell you is I'll be back, my people. So just go back in the channel and you'll find me going live within 2-3 minutes. My people, to those having breakfast right now, enjoy it. I'm having my breakfast, enjoying this omelet right now. Talking boxing with you guys early in the morning. I gotta say, my peoples, yesterday, somebody, I don't know if y'all noticed, somebody in the chat, when Joe Cortez was like, you know, you don't want to see somebody get killed out there. You rather them go home to their family than get taken out in a stretcher. And somebody commented, don't be dramatic. Nobody was close to dying. He being dramatic. Like my peoples, I will not allow nobody to disrespect one of my guests. And a Hall of Famer. So I gave him a 24-hour break, but that goofball getting blocked. Like, he should just unsubscribe from the channel because I'm going to block his ass. So we have to understand, my people, it's okay to disagree. I had a couple of people that was disagreeing with Joe Cortez. That's okay. You can have your opinion. I've never had a problem with anybody disagreeing with me or anybody. But if you're going to get disrespectful with a guest that I'm bringing over that's taking from their time to talk to us, you getting cooked. Al Booger, you ever thought about doing a running channel? I thought about it, but I was like, nah, I'm going to have to put too much time into it. So I do, you know, make running videos and post them on this channel. There's a lot of them here, but I'm not going to do a whole other channel for that. Robert Tompkins, be safe, my brother. Appreciate it, my guy. Likewise. MAW, 100%. You know, again, it's okay to disagree. You don't have to agree with everybody. But also, you have to understand, if we're talking about racing cars, and you have a race car driver, you can disagree with him all you want. But you have to understand that his opinion is going to have a lot more weight than yours. So if you disagree with a referee's opinion as a fan, that's okay. But if a referee's telling you, no, that's the right decision, it's disrespectful for you to be like, oh, he being dramatic. What are you talking about? Huh? You telling the professional, the guy that's done it for over 30 years, the guy with over 100 championship fights, that he's being melodramatic, and you know how it works because you watched it on TV? That's nasty work. That's nasty work. You a goofball. So we have to understand, it's one thing to debate, to trash talk, to have a good time with it, and it's another to be disrespectful. Disrespect is not going to be tolerated, especially if I have a guest on. Like, people don't understand, you know, somebody like Joe Cortez, yo, he got shit to do. He got people calling him for interviews. He got people calling him for appearances. He got people that want him to do this and that. There's even people that want him to ref again, and he been retired. So for him to take some of his time to politic boxing with me, and then people just gonna come on with some goofballery. Come on, man. Come on. And you know what's crazy? And I tell you this, guys. You should never get upset simply because someone has a different opinion than you. I never get upset over a different opinion ever. People have shared a different opinion with me all the time. People disagree with me all the time. And that's okay. You don't have to agree with me. And I don't have to agree with you. But I don't need to disrespect you to let you know that this is my point of view. And that's what I got for that. Our booger. Joe was one of the best. He didn't take no mess in the ring. That's facts. That's fact. Joe Cortez was one of the most respected referees. You know, like one of the go-to guys on the main event. He was one of them for a very long time. So when a guy like that share his professional opinion with you, you can't just disrespect him because you disagree. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Or he's being dramatic. Huh? What are you talking about? How you never put on a pair of gloves in your whole life and you saying that a referee is being dramatic about his opinion? And then this be the people that say that they love boxing. So I gotta tell you, my people, boxing is a sport where people put their life on the line every day. Or every time they step in the ring. When you step in the ring, you could die from that fight. And by the way, I mentioned that in the morning, and Joe Cortez also mentioned it in Boxing Alive at Night. Boxing is the sport where the most athletes die out of all combat sports. There you have it. Not MMA, not full contact, not jiu-jitsu or taekwondo or no combat sports sees as many deaths as boxing. What does that tell you? People want to see fighters get knocked out cold, get put to sleep. Like how much more punishment did you want to see Joseph Parker take before the referee pulled the plug? Because it was like a whole minute to go in that round. It would have took hella punishment. Kobe, good morning, OG. Do you think Virgil Ortiz will win and will it be by decision? I got Virgil winning that fight. Look, I know that Erickson Lubin can fight. I know what he brings to the table. I know that he's tough. But I think the young, hungry lion in this case Virgil is the harder puncher, and he's gonna apply that pressure. And I think he's gonna get to him. I think Virgil wins this fight. In fact, I think he wins it by stoppage. Because Lubin is not a guy who's gonna run or who's gonna fight super defensively. He's gonna trade. He's gonna bang with Virgil. So I think he's gonna get got at some point. Rafael, good interview with Joe Cortez. Appreciate it, my brother. Um, you know, Joe, I thought that he was only gonna give me his take about the fight. About whether or not it was a good stoppage. But we started talking, and it was a great conversation. He ended up telling us a lot of different stories of his experience within boxing, and it turned into a great conversation. Rafael, Lubin only 30, just turned 30. I know, but Virgil's, I think, 28, 27, 28, and has a lot less mileage, bro. Lubin is only 30, but he been in a lot of wars. He been stopped twice, brutally. When Lubin got stopped, it was brutal stoppages, bro. So Virgil's only chronologically, he's only like 2 or 3 years younger. But physically, I think he's like 10 years younger. That's an exaggeration. But my point is, Lubin has been through a lot. And Virgil hasn't. If you think about it, even when he got dropped, and I'm talking about Virgil, it was kind of like a flash knockdown, and he got up, handled business. We've never really seen Virgil in any adversity to where he's actually really stunned and have to climb out of that. So, I don't know. I think Virgil, he has the technical asset, the technical skills, and the power to dictate the pace. I think, look, I tell you right now, Virgil's going to dictate the pace. He's going to impose the pace of the fight. Timmy T, Ramos beat Lubin, I thought. I mean, that was a super competitive fight. Swing rounds, there was many swing rounds. I think it could have gone either way, but fair win. I think it's a fair win for Lubin. Rafael, second stoppage, Kevin Cunningham stopped the fight due to the hemorrhage bump Lubin had. Lubin was up in the scorecards. Rafael, but that's what I'm trying to say. That type of damage is a cumulative damage. So whether or not he kept going or could have kept going, it's the damage that he took in the fight that I'm talking about. And the damage that he took in the fight where he got knocked out. He took some serious damage. Virgil has never seen none of that type of action like that where he walked out of it hurt like that. So, and that matters. That matters. When he's eating those big shots from Virgil Ortiz, bro, that's gonna matter. What he's already seen, what he's already been through. Let me give you an example of something that happens in boxing a lot, and people just don't understand it. You see a guy be able to take all this punishment, right? And bounce back and win fights. But then, after they've been through multiple wars, slugfests, then they fighting a guy and they get hit with a straight right hand that doesn't even have everything behind it. Boom! They get caught off guard with that right hand. Bang! And they go down. And then you got fans saying, oh, nah, he didn't really go down because he's taking harder punches. He went down because he wanted to. Like, that's fake. That's scripted. because people don't understand that after a fighter's taking a lot of punishment, the punch resistance can go down. The punch now, the guy that used to boom, 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 take 20 punches to the head, now he take two, boom, boom, and he out of there, cooked. So I think Lubin, when he take those Virgil shots, Raphael, that bump that you was talking about, and that previous knockout, when he take them Virgil punches, you're gonna see it. Now, what I do know is that Lubin has to. Damn. Whew. They went down the wrong way. What I do know is that Lubin has the skill set to make it a very competitive fight. So I'm not suggesting in any way, shape, or form that Virgil's just gonna wash him, right? What I am suggesting is that Virgil has the technical tools and resources to not only win rounds, but to slowly but surely pick Lubin apart and then get him later on. 8th, 9th, or after. I see him, landing. Because that's the one thing, Rafael, that you have to acknowledge. Lubin is not a defensive guru. He gets hit. He gets hit. He not a guy that is when you think about Lubin or when you talk about Lubin, you don't think about, wow, that defense is crazy. That's not what comes to mind. He gets hit. And when you get hit by Virgil, it could be real problematic. MAW, Joyce, for example, he was winning that fight. I haven't seen the cards, but I am assuming that Parker was winning himself on all the cards. So look at Joseph Parker and Wardley, where Parker's winning the fight, but he got hurt late. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Now, will Lubin be able to outbox Virgil and win on the cards? I don't know. I don't see it, honestly. I don't see it. I think Lubin is a real good boxer. But Virgil, I guess maybe he's being underestimated as a boxer. Maybe people just see the power and that he hits hard and that's the focus. Virgil can box. He's sharp. I know that Lubin is going to make it super interesting and super competitive because how good he is and he's been on the big stage. But I don't see him beating Virgil Ortiz. Timmy T, what percentage do you think we'll get Virgil versus Boots in early 26? What percentage? Honestly, I'm going to say it's a high percentage, bro. I'm going to have to say, my opinion, I'm going to give it 75%. We get it in early 2026. You know why I'm saying that? Ennis himself told me that they already signed a contract to fight Virgil. Told me, so I heard it from the horse's mouth. So at this point, only two things need to happen. Number one, Virgil beats Lubin, which is something I'm expecting. And number two, Virgil and his team decide that they're going to take this fight. But I heard it from the horse's mouth. Rafael Ortiz is a come forward skilled fighter. Timothy, okay, that's great news. So my expectations are that we're going to get that fight. Plus, you guys know that Boots is under a lot of pressure to fight somebody. And he got, a lot of criticism for taking a tune-up. People wanted him to get into it right away. So I think because that's part of it too, they're taking that into consideration. Like, yo, we need a name. We need a name. And Virgil is the guy that, he is a name. And this fight has been brewing. People been calling for it. Virgil Ortiz versus Jerome Boots, and this is a huge fight. Make it happen. Rafael Ortiz slips punches. Timmy T, I've been wanting this fight for years. I think Boots stops him. I'm gonna tell you something, Timmy T. Virgil Ortiz versus Jerome Boots Ennis is a fight that we've been calling for at least 4 years. At least 4 years. Because we've been saying in the welterweight division for a long time that they needed to fight each other. Fight Virgil, no fight Boots, no fight Virgil, no fight Boots. They gotta make this fight. Everybody wants this fight. Everybody want to see Virgil Ortiz versus Jerome Boots Ennis. And I'm gonna tell you what's funny about that. People feel confidence on both ends. I have people telling me that Boots is gonna make it look easy. Boots gonna wash him. Gonna make him look like a third shift supervisor at Taco Bell. And then I have people telling me that Virgil's gonna smoke him. That he's not gonna be able to handle the pressure, and Virgil's absolutely gonna cook him. So that fight is something that we have to have. It's gonna be huge when it happens. I'll say that when we get this one, it's gonna be one of those that the fans are gonna be super divided, because you have the Mexican fighter, the African American fighter. They both have their own fan base, you know, and of course, USA, Mexico. That matchup is always gonna be big. When you have two young, hungry lions, you know, potential superstars, because they're already stars, facing each other, undefeated in their prime. This fight right here, my people, is gonna be huge. Jerome Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz is gonna be one of those fights that's gonna shut down the internet. It's gonna completely shut down the internet. When it is announced, this is gonna be one of those that when they announce it, the entire boxing media apparatus is gonna be talking about this fight. This is gonna be the main topic of conversation from the moment it's announced until the moment they step in the ring. People are gonna be talking about it. We need it. We need this fight. Virgil versus Boots, my peoples. And I'm gonna tell you what. I haven't made a prediction. Right now, I'm leaning towards Jerome Boots Ennis. I ain't even gonna cap on ya. I am leaning towards Boots. But Virgil is a fighter who I got a lot of respect for, who can fight. And when they finally, look, whether or not they face each other early next year, I don't know if that's going to happen. But I do believe that they will fight each other. Hopefully, it is next year and it is early. That's what I want to see happen. Fight early next year. MAW, Boots likely fights Abbas Baru next. They either fight Virgil or looks to unify versus Xander or Bakram. Boots' next two fights are goodies either way. I mean, the Abbas guy, I haven't heard Eddie say anything or express any interest. I haven't really heard Boots express any interest. So honestly, I don't know where that come from. I've heard a few people say it, but I just don't know. I guess people don't want to believe that he'll fight Virgil next. But I haven't heard anyone in Boots' team expressing interest in that fight, so I don't know where that comes from. Vic, who's the guy Ruiz is fighting? Ruiz? Which Ruiz? Because Andy Ruiz, I think they trying to fight Wilder, isn't it? Timmy T, can Virgil can't. I meant. Vic, Andy. Yeah, I think Andy Ruiz is fighting Wilder, if I'm not mistaken. That's what I thought was supposed to happen. Fact check me. But I think Andy Ruiz and Wilder is supposed to be mixing it up. MAW, Boots versus Virgil. It's a boxer puncher versus a puncher. Volume, pressure. Great style matchup, in my humble opinion. And that's what I'm talking about, my guy. Jerome Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz is the type of fight that's going to be super competitive and super interesting to see who's able to impose their will. I'm leaning, I already told you guys, I'm leaning towards Boots because he has the better footwork. When I look at the offensive firepower, they're both right there at the top. You know, they both got power in both hands. They both can knock you out. They both got speed in their hands. They both can box. Now, what edge do I give Jerome Boots Ennis in offensive firepower? Well, he's the guy who's able to go southpaw and orthodox. So when you're able to switch at will in between rounds, you could do it right there while y'all exchanging. That poses, a different challenge for his opponents. So I think that's the edge that Boots has in offensive firepower. He's gonna go southpaw. He's gonna go orthodox. That's one thing that he has. Another edge, because I say that's one edge or the edge. But another thing that Boots has over Virgil is the footwork. We can't say that Virgil has better footwork than Jerome Boots Ennis. So I think that's where I give Boots an edge. That footwork, that movement. I think we'll get to see Virgil having to chase Boots around, and not chase him because he's running, but chase him because he's strategically giving him angles and moving. Kind of like, look at Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez, or even Crawford versus Arrow. We can't say that Crawford was running, right? Put the beats on them. Timmy T at 154, I think it's even, if anything. Florica Sosiu. Hello, my woman is Romanian. I love you. Okay. Sure. Brian Graham. Is the fight actually set? So the fight, as of right now, is not set. Remember, Boots has an Virgil has a fight with Lubin. So he has to get past Lubin first. But I do believe that they will fight. I believe that they'll fight in early 2026 simply because Bozy told me. Hold on one second, my people. Hold on. My people, my husky playing games. So again, Jerome Boots Ennis versus Virgil Ortiz is not signed. Virgil still has to get past Lubin, but Bozy Ennis himself told me that they already signed. That's it. We already signed the contract. We're waiting on them. So it is my perception that as of right now, the only thing that has to happen, Virgil Ortiz has to get past Lubin and sign a contract to fight Boots in early 2026. And we all know Virgil's about that smoke. Virgil is about that smoke. So I don't think he's going to duck this fight. When in fact, he was ready to fight Boots. It's just that Boots decided that he wanted to take that tune-up first. That's all it was, my people. Hold on, my peoples. We got the veggie salad over here. We got the veggie salad in the building. MAW. Boost 35 wins, 31 knockouts. Virgil 23 wins, 23 knockouts. I don't know what you think that means, MAW, but that actually doesn't mean anything. It don't mean anything. Whatever you think it means, or whatever you make up out of that, it's irrelevant and incoherent. I could spend a little bit of time giving you a million examples of guys with a perfect record that got knocked out with a guy who had losses. That doesn't mean absolutely anything. Good talking point, but that's about it. Timmy T, Madrimov lost twice, but he's still a good fight. Of course, Madrimov is a world-class fighter. And you know that he's a world-class fighter because he went the distance with the face of boxing, the number one pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and he also went the distance with Virgil Ortiz. Neither guy could stop him. And he was competitive versus both of them. That's what tell you. Madrimov is a world-class fighter. That's the type of fighter he is. Timmy T, fight. Madrimov lost twice, but he still got a good fight. I agree. He's a good fighter. Rafael Lubin going to disrupt all that. I don't know. I think you're going to be disappointed, Rafael. I think you're going to be disappointed, my guy. And I got all the respect in the world for Lubin. But styles make fights, and I don't think Virgil's a good matchup for him. And you see how you're saying Lubin is going to disrupt all that? Virgil's going to stop him. Now you're going to find out why they call me Jay Stradamus. Virgil's going to stop him. Now, before you think that I'm saying Virgil's going to stop him, because I'm trying to contradict or I'm trying to cap, I'm simply looking at the two fighters and their styles. Lubin, like I told you earlier, he's not a defensive guru. He takes a lot of punches. And Virgil lets the hands fly. And if he hurts you, he's trying to stop you. So yes, I expect Lubin to give him a real competitive fight, especially in the beginning. But Virgil's going to slow him down. Them body shots, the trademark Virgil Ortiz Mexican-style body shots, they're going to slow him down, bro. And when the time is right, you're going to get him out of it. And then you're going to be like, damn, Jay told me. Again, I didn't listen. For those that didn't listen when I told you Bud was going to put the beats on Canelo, I told you Shakur was going to put the beats on Zepeda. Didn't listen. Still not listening now, probably. Rafael. Timmy T, MAW, Virgil didn't stop Bohachuk or Madrimov. So how does he have a 100% KO rate? I don't know, bro. I don't know how he went the distance and got a MAW can maybe fill us in on that one. I don't know. Rafael, Madrimov was sick when he fought Virgil at Riyadh season. Do you see Virgil's face? And that was not a decisive win, Virgil, but it was not decisive. Nah, I disagree with you on that. That was definitely a decisive win. In fact, people said that Virgil beat Madrimov more convincingly than Crawford. They say he beat him more convincingly than Crawford. But they both beat him. I saw both of them beating Madrimov, but Madrimov was competitive. And I think it's what usually happens when a fighter comes out of nowhere, he's competitive versus the champ. A lot of people are going to say he beat him. Like, oh, no, he beat him. No, he didn't beat him. He was competitive, but they both beat him. Kobe Low, Virgil beat Madrimov easily. Nah, bro. He didn't beat Madrimov easily. That was cap. He eventually figured them out. But it wasn't easily. Within those first 6 rounds, he lost a few rounds and took some good shots. Superman, yup, just to hate on Bud. That's the thing. People hate on Crawford, man. It's all about the Crawford hate. Gave Bud a hard time. Now he fighting Lubin. Boo's best fight is Stanionis. And Boo's is 27. Nobody knows Stanionis. Tank fought Pedraza at 22 years old. Haney beat Loma. So a lot of the stuff that you're saying, Kobe Lowe, is incoherent. Beyond incoherent. Simply because, look, you're saying nobody knows Stanionis. Let me be the first to tell you, Kobe Lowe. Nobody knew Bakram before he pummeled Tim Tszyu. You couldn't have known Bakram. I hope you're not going to cap and tell me that you knew him, because the guy was fighting in small venues in Europe and fights that wasn't even televised. And some of them were televised in small markets over there. So most of us, we saw a little highlight here and there, but we didn't know Bakram. You didn't know Bakram Mortasaliev, and he beat the crap out of Tim Tszyu. So what I'm trying to teach you, Kobe Lowe, Don't ever say that nobody knows a guy because that's irrelevant. That's fanboy stuff when you say that. It doesn't matter if you know somebody or not. It's about whether they can fight or not. That's number one. Number two, you're like, Tank fought Pedraza at 22. Like, bro, Pedraza never been on the pound for pound list. Pedraza never been known as one of the best in the division. And he became a stepping stone for a bunch of fighters that beat him up right after Tank. What are you talking about? Pedraza is literally the only reigning champion that Tank beat in his whole career. You talking about he did that at 22 years old? He 30 and fighting Jake Paul and never fought a single champion at the 135 division. What are you talking about, Kobe Lowe? Like, this is, you're on some pocket watching mode probably. Let me guess. You would do the same thing Tank did, and you would do an exhibition too. Come on, man. Stop. Social introvert. That's because Madrimov was sick. And also Virgil sparred Madrimov for years. So he knew his mannerisms. I mean, look, whether or not Madrimov was sick, that's something that I wouldn't even bring up. Because honestly, Virgil's going to win that fight. Virgil, I feel like, is the better fighter. But Madrimov is world class and he's going to give anybody a tough fight. Nobody's going to get out there and wash Madrimov. It hasn't happened and we're not going to see it because he's that level of fighter. Al Booger, I picked Israel in that fight. But Virgil definitely won. Slow him down and put hands on him. Those first 6 rounds were super competitive. Then going forward, he started slowing him down with those body shots and eventually he got to him. MAW, I messed up earlier. I accidentally put it up, but it sent instead of backspace. I'm sorry. Damn, bro, you have my mans with a 100% knockout percentage. Jerry Fisher, win. Timmy T, Madrimov, beat that guy. Osley Iglesias in the amateur fights. Yo, Madrimov, I'm telling you, he's a world-class fighter. Only people who don't really follow boxing like that, or people who just watch highlights, social media boxing fans that only watch when the highlights come up in their phone, those are the only ones that are talking, oh, Madrimov's a bomb, man. He's a nobody. He's... What? That's a world-class fighter. People who know, no. You're not going to hear no fighter, no judge, no ref, no coach, nobody involved in boxing is ever going to tell you that Madrimov is a bum. That's all I'm going to tell you. Kobe Lowe, why is Booth's best opponent Stanionis? Well, you know, Stanionis was an undefeated champion. Last I checked, Stanionis was an undefeated champion, but what do I know? Karen, an Olympic silver medalist, but what do I know? You know. You see, that's what happens, Kobe Lowe. When you've been involved with boxing, you understand what it takes to win a medal in the Olympics and what it takes to become a world champion. You watch boxing on TV, and to you, a guy that became a world champion is a nobody. That shit is hilarious, bro. Oh, yeah, he just beat a guy that was an undefeated champion. I mean, well, what did he do? Like, that shit is hilarious, bro. MAW, I'll be honest. I thought Bohachuk deserved a nod versus Virgil. But what happened. I saw Virgil winning that fight, but it was close. It was competitive. But I did see Virgil. To me, Virgil won it. And look, my peoples, that's why this fight is so hard to predict. What makes this fight hard to predict is not just that it's 2 undefeated fighters, obviously, but it's the fact that both of these guys can fight, both of them got power, and most importantly, both of them are dead center in the beginning of their prime. Right there, they're just kicking off their prime right now. Because that's when you get in and right peak. And strength and speed and all of that. Right now, both of them. That's why we need this fight. MAW, Karen, underrated. Of course. But it's what I said before, MAW. Fighters, look what this guy said. Kobe Lowe. Nobody knows him. Nobody knows him. So there's a portion of fans who think that if nobody know you, you're probably not that good because nobody know you. And it's like, haven't you been proven wrong enough times to know that that doesn't even make sense? Nobody knew Bakram Murtasaliev before he absolutely pummeled Tim Tszyu. Gave him the beating of a lifetime. So guess what? There's a lot of fighters that people don't know who are very good, who are world caliber, who are championship caliber. Timmy T, do you get tired of fans saying Canelo resume is going to beat Bud? I mean, honestly, it's annoying to me because it always happens. You know, it's annoying to me because it's like I have to keep reliving that. Where people say, no, look at this guy's resume, though. Oh, look. MAW was bringing the knockout percentage. Look at the knockout percentage, though. He got a higher knockout percentage. And it's like, those things are really incoherent. Anything, my peoples, look. That's like the people that were saying, whoa, if Gamboa hurt Crawford, imagine what Arrow's gonna do to him. And how did that hurt Arrow? Got the pummeling of a lifetime. And then that narrative came right back for Canelo. Oh, imagine if Gamboa hurt him. Oh my God. Imagine what Canelo's gonna do to him. And how did that help Canelo? How did a fight where Gamboa over 10 years ago is supposed to help Canelo? To me, that was just hilarious. But people, to some people, like, if you want Crawford to lose bad enough, anything makes sense to you. Anything makes sense. Oh my God, yeah, it's true, that makes sense. He got hurt by a little dude. Oh my God. You want to believe it. I'm sitting there telling you. So, even though we witnessed that fight and the way Crawford beat Canelo Alvarez, we're still gonna see people using a previous fight and a previous outcome to try to say what's gonna happen in this upcoming fight. And it's like, damn, yo, you didn't learn the last time that it happened, or the time before that? So this is going to happen forever. Essentially, it's going to happen forever, where fans take an old fight to say, look over there, so that means that over here, this was gonna happen. That's never gonna stop. That's just the reality. Rothschild Records. Quick one, broski. Who do you got, Prime Bud or Prime Floyd? Just one word answer. Bud. There you have it. So again, my peoples, Virgil Ortiz. By the way, the Hydro Grind is in the building. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you dropping in. Virgil Ortiz versus Jerome Boots Ennis is a fight that I'm hoping we can get early next year. I reiterate for you guys, Bozy Ennis himself told me that they signed their portion of the contract and they ready for that smoke next. They ready for that smoke next. Rothschild Records, subscribe. Ooh, appreciate it, my brother. I promise you, I'm not gonna let you down. Not gonna let you down. Check out the videos that I posted. By the way, yesterday, referee Joe Cortez joined me on Boxing Alive. Check out that live because a lot of people are saying that the stoppage between Joe Joyce and Joseph Parker was not a good stoppage. I, of course, disagree with that. I've been talking about it. Well, since so many people disagree with me and thought my opinion was so crazy, I say, you know what? I'm bringing over Joe Cortez, Hall of Fame referee, and he can give us his opinion. He can give us the breakdown of whether or not it was a good stoppage. And guess what, my brother? Joe Cortez said it was a good stoppage. And I spoke about it in the morning yesterday. And I told people, I was like, look, the referee's not just looking at the last sequence of punches. He's looking at what happened in the previous round. How did that play out? You may recall Joseph Parker damn near stumbled to his corner. Matter of fact, when the bell rang, he almost went to the wrong corner and then went to his corner. He was disoriented. Legs was jelly. The referee is looking at this. And Joe Cortez told us yesterday that what he would have done and what most likely happened is that after the 10th round, the referee went over there to the corner and told him, champ, I gotta see something. You gotta show me something. If I don't see you throwing punches, not defending yourself, I'm gonna have to call it. Normally, that's what referees do if a fighter finishes a round after being stunned. They'll go to that corner. Sometimes they even call the doctor to check him out, make sure he's good. So what you guys have to understand is when the 10th round started, they was already keeping an eye on Joseph Parker. Let me see. Number one, is he fighting back? Number two, is he protecting himself, effectively? Now, was he fighting back? No. He threw two punches that didn't land. They weren't good punches. It's kind of like he's getting hit and he went like this, boom, 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 boom. And he threw two out there, which did not land. So he wasn't fighting back effectively. Was he defending himself effectively? Hell no. People talking about the punches that he was slipping. What about the punches that he was eating flush? Flush. So based on the punishment he took in the previous round and what's happening right then and there, Joe Cortez said that the fight needed to be stopped. Fans want to see a fighter get taken out in a stretcher. They want to see him get put to sleep. But if you're there to protect the fighter, you see him getting pummeled, the right thing to do is call it. Even Joseph Parker, my peoples, was okay with it. Like, he was like, I wanted to keep fighting, but I understand, I respect it. Gave his flowers to Fabio Wardley. The Hydro Grind. What do you think about Schofield pulling out the fight again? Some people are saying that that is to be available to fight Tank next. Honestly, I'll take him at his word. I don't like the conspiracies. I don't make stuff up out of thin air. If he says he was hurt, I believe that he was hurt. Unless something comes out to say otherwise, I'm not. I'm not into conspiracies, my guy. So I'm not even gonna entertain. Oh, he probably did it for this, and I have nobody in Floyd's camp and nobody's camp that's told me anything. So I'm going with he got hurt. Remember when Ryan Garcia pulled out of the fight with Jojo Diaz and pulled out of the fight with Fortuna? Right away, people were like, oh, nah, it's not mental health. He's scared. He's ducking. And then he ended up knocking out Fortuna, making it look easy. So when fighters pull out of fights for injuries, people always do that. They always come up with stories about how they don't believe it and there's something else behind it. So I don't even play into that. Kobe Lowe. Why is Boo's best fight Stanionis at 27 years old? Kobe Lowe, you just don't like Boo's. That's all it is. He got a lot of good fights, a lot of good wins. He's already a unified world champion, already at 154. Like, you got to relax. He's 28 years old. Tell me about Tank Davis. Why is Tank Davis 30 years old and hasn't faced a single reigning champion in the 135 division where he's been at for 5 years? At least tell me that. You see, you asking about Boots. Boots 28. He's younger than Tank. Tell me why Tank ain't fighting no reigning champions at 135. And why he ducked a rematch with Lamar Roach. And why he been ducking Shakur for the last few years. That's what you need to talk about. Tank is 30 years old. You talking about Boots. Tank is 30. Doing exhibitions. Right child record. I believe it was early, but I can't call foul play. Just a tough cookie. And I can say, look, if you believe that it was stopped early, I respect it, my guy, because there's a lot of people who feel that way. But I will tell you, as somebody who fought as an amateur, I only got one fight in as a professional, I 100%, not only I agree with the stoppage, but I saw it coming. So, because you're new to the channel, you don't know this, but I call the fights. All the big fights, you're going to see me calling them live, right? And trust me, the commentary from Jay Smith is different. Devastating blow, ladies and gentlemen. That was quite brutal. Wait till you see it. But the point is, in round number 10, right after it finished, I was telling people, yo, if that round would have went one more minute, Joseph Parker would have got stopped. Because I saw him stumble into his corner. I saw the guy when the bell rang try to go the other way. He was out on his feet, bro. So for round number 11, right before the punches started raining on Joseph Parker, if you go to the live, you're going to hear me saying, my people, Joseph Parker's hurt. He's hurt. A minute into the round, he hadn't thrown a single punch, bro. Not one. Just there, just trying to stand up. So when the punches started raining on him, I'm like, they're going to stop it. They're going to stop it. And the announcer, the people that was there calling the fight, they were saying it was going to get stopped. So when it got stopped, I was expecting it. I was waiting for it to get... In fact, I felt like it could have got stopped like 10 seconds before. When he got caught with a big right hand and he put his hands down and kind of leaned back, right there, I felt like it could have got stopped. And he ate a few big shots after that. So to me, bro, there was no surprise. No surprise whatsoever that it got stopped. I was expecting it. So when I started seeing in the comment section, nah, that's a bad stoppage. It shouldn't have got stopped. No, they could have... I was surprised, my guy. From the pummeling that I was watching Joseph Parker take, I was surprised, bro, to hear people say that, nah, that it should have kept going. Like, I'm watching this guy taking a nasty beating. Because this is what I take into consideration, my G, and I want you to think about that. Fabio Wardley has 19 wins and 18 knockouts. Somebody was talking about Tank Davis. Wardley has a higher knockout percentage than Tank Davis. And he's landing that type of shot flush on Joseph Parker. A lot of them landed like 20 punches to the head to end round number 10. And then round number 11, a barrage of punches that landed flush to the head. So me, bro, I was surprised. When people started saying, nah, that should have kept going, I was shocked, bro. Like, what? God damn, people wanted to see Parker get killed out there? Like, how much more punishment did the guy have to take? Kobe Lowe, 10 for Pedraza at 22. Who the hell's Pedraza, bro? Who is Pedraza? And you talking about at 22. Who has he fought since in the last 8 years? Tank is 30 years old, Kobe Lowe, and you stuck on Pedraza. What are you doing? 8 years ago, that's it? That's what you got for Tank? A fight from 8 years ago? Keyshawn Davis pummeled Pedraza. A bunch of guys pummeled Pedraza. Ooh. I probably could beat Pedraza. What are you talking about? He like Tank resume's better. And only say Pedraza, a 22 years old. Name Kobe Lowe the champions that Tank be at 135. That's the division that he's in. Pedraza was at 130. Tell all of us, Kobe Lowe, about Tank's great resume and all the champions he beat in the 135 division. What are the champions? You didn't name any champions in the 135 division. There's no reason to read that. We talking about the champions. Because you talking about Boots and you was talking about the champions. You said, what champions? And you brought up Stanionis. What champions is that I'm asking you that he beat? Nobody asked you for all those names. Nobody asked you for a list. The question was not, tell me the list of fighters for Tank Davis. That wasn't the question, Kobe Lowe. If you want to be a tankomaniac, at least be a tankomaniac by naming the world champions that Tank Davis beat at 135. That he took a belt from. Because last I checked, Tank Davis got a Mickey Mouse belt in the 135 division. He got a secondary trinket off of Gamboa, who like 50 years old. Like 50-year-old Gamboa. Oh, come on. Come on, my people. Our booger. We got a tankomaniac in the building fighting for Tank's honor. My people, look. I'm going to say this. Joe Cortez being so well respected in the game is the reason why I said, let me bring him on. You know, whether or not you agree, you disagree, but at least you have to respect the opinion of somebody who's done it at the highest level, who's been, one of the most famous referees in boxing, you gotta respect what somebody like that has to say. And that's what and Joe said basically the same thing that I said in the morning. It was a legitimate stoppage. We're talking about, a very hard puncher, a heavyweight, and Fabio Wardley, who was landing big shots. And listen, Joe even told us a story about a fight that he stopped, or a fight that was stopped. I'm not sure if he stopped it or someone else stopped it. And the fighter wanted to keep going. The fighter wanted to keep fighting. He said, "Nah, I was good." And guess what? The fighter, he had brain swelling that night. They had to take him to the hospital, and 2 days later he died. 2 days after the fight, when he had said he was mad about the stoppage, he died 2 days later. Brian Grant, I just subscribed. Love your energy. Salute, my brother. Appreciate it. Um, by the way, Brian, yesterday I was with Joe Cortez on Box Center Live at night, and we spoke for about an hour. We not only about this stoppage, but Joe Cortez gave us, a few stories about things that he's witnessed and lived throughout his career in boxing. So check it out, man. Real good stuff. Real good conversation. Um, and I want to point something out. Kobe Low, you got it, man. Nobody believe you. I know you want to keep fighting for Tank honor. Nobody believe you. That's only Tankomaniac logic. Tank Davis, Doug Shakur, Doug Devin Haney, Doug Teofimo. Nobody want to hear it. And now he fighting an exhibition and duck the rematch with Lamar Roach. You talk about everything except that. Blatantly duck Lamar Roach. By the way, Lamar Roach is a cherry pick gone wrong. A 130-pounder moved up and whooped his ass. And he got gifted a draw. What happened, Kobe Low? How you cherry pick a guy from the 130 division and then get beat up? How you do that? How you do that, Kobe Low? How you bring a guy from 130 and get your ass whooped? Make all of us look goofy as hell. Make me look goofy as hell. I was predicting Tank was going to knock him out in the ninth. Look at that. All my predictions on the money. Accurate. Then Tank come and do that goofballery and get beat up by a cherry pick that he brought from the 130 division. Stop it. Look how quiet you is, Kobe Low. You've been going bam, 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 repeating the same stuff. And then don't want to say nothing about how Tank Davis ducked Lamar Roach after he got beat up. You want to talk about everything but Roach? Come on now. Superman, firm, great line. I'm firm, but I'm fair. Oh, no, it's the other way around. I'm fair, but I'm firm. He actually ended the interview with that line. That's how he ended the interview. Kobe Low, I don't have the link available. Later on, I will have it, but nobody ever shows up. Every time somebody asks for the link, when the link is available, they never show up, bro. They never show up. That hydro grind. We just gotta hope Tank doesn't retire and beat all of them. Damn, you gotta hope he beat all of them because you're a Tankomaniac. I just hope he fight him. I just hope he fight him. And I'm telling you, Tank is a great fighter. If he was to fight everybody, if he was to get on that mode of I'm gonna fight everybody, he probably retires with a record like 40-2, 39-1. Like he'll retire with a great record. He will. But he refused to fight the top guys because he got Tank maniacs like Kobe Low that are gonna defend everything he does. Kobe Low asked everybody to fight the best, except Tank Davis. Tank Davis fight whoever he wants. That's why he's able to cherry pick his whole career. Black Jericho, y'all gotta hope we don't. Tank could have a great record if he wanted. The hydro grind. Tank is the best, bro. We gotta be honest. I mean, if that's how you feel about it, that's your opinion. Tank is not even in the pound for pound list. Tank is not even in the pound for pound list, bro. And he won't get in the pound for pound list. Fighting no exhibition showing no Jake Paul. Come on, man. Come on. Kobe Low, what you saying about Shakur? Tank don't believe you. Coach Cal don't believe you. Tank whole team don't believe you. Because if they believed you, they all would already fought and beat Shakur. But they haven't. Because they don't believe you. They can't even beat Lamar Roach. What are you talking about? After you watch Lamar Roach whoop his ass? You saying that? What are we doing, Kobe Lowe? You're taking Tankomaniac stuff to another level. After watching that ass whooping Lamar Roach gave like Kobe Lowe, you can't even bring yourself to say Lamar Roach. Look at all the names that you named, except the last dude to fight Tank and whoop his ass. You don't want to name him? Kobe Lowe out here naming everybody. He naming everybody except Lamar Roach. Just because he whooped Tank Davis' ass. Bro, give Lamar Roach his credit at least. Give Lamar Roach his credit. Go ahead. The dude moved up from the 130 division. He a cherry pick gone wrong. Give him his credit at least, Kobe. Kobe Lowe, Roach ain't shit. Dude was a draw. Roach is a good fighter. I mean, so Tank Davis got beat up by a good fighter? Huh? He got beat up by a good fighter? Tell me when Boots got beat up by a good fighter. Tell me when Boots got all type of hands put on him by a good fighter. How you sound? Lamar Roach ain't shit. A good fighter beat the crap out of Tank. Imagine a great fighter. They'll beat the crap out of Tank and make him look like a little kid. They'll make Tank look like a little kid. Black Jericho. If Roach ain't shit, why Tank ain't make easy work of him? You know what it is, man. The Tankomaniacs. The Tankomaniacs in full effect. Jimbo Allen. Poe will beat Davis because he promoting it. I mean, it's an exhibition show. Beat who? Like, I don't see nobody beating nobody. It's an exhibition show. That's not a real fight. As much as they want to make it seem like a real fight, it's an exhibition. That's it. I hate to be the one to tell y'all this. Hate to do it to you. The hydro grind. And everybody in here knows that Roach did whoop his ass. He won a split decision. Very close split. Still moved up from the 130 division. Moved up. The guys that moved up from the lower division did that to Tank. Now his record got a blemish on it because he cherry-picked the wrong guy. Cherry-picked the wrong guy. You refuse to fight Shakur, refuse to fight Devin, refuse to fight Tio, only to get your ass whooped by Lamar Roach. Hold that. Hold that. Jimbo Allen, just saying in a gen, he will not lose on his own show. I don't know how that's gonna play out. Honestly, I think he can lose. Look, I'm gonna say this. To me, it's not a real fight. Jake Paul, Tank Davis, it's an exhibition show. That's what I see from there. They got their little exhibition show. They're gonna make a lot of money. I don't even know if they have a script of how this fight is gonna play out. But if they fight for real, like if they're actually going in there with the intention of really trying to fight each other, trying to hurt each other, all of that, Tank Davis is gonna whoop him. Tank Davis is going to whoop him. Kobe, it's not a real fight, but if Tank KO Paul, his stock will go up crazy. Honestly, I don't think so. I think Tank is already a star. He's a big star, and a fight, even though it's an exhibition show, this is a fight that a lot of people is gonna be watching. So he does become a bigger star. But in boxing, he's been a bigger star. I think now with that fight, with that exhibition, he becomes a bigger star out of boxing. Out of boxing. Because you know that Jake Paul, he has that YouTuber fan base too. So that's how Tank grows his name. But in boxing, he's already one of the biggest stars we have. Jimbo Allen, what's your honest thoughts on Usyk, and will he be champ through 2026 still? So Wardley is gonna be very challenging. Wardley can fight a lot better than people thought. But I think right now, Alexander Usyk is not ready to give up them belts. I still don't see anybody beating him. There's fighters that, as long as they're competing at the highest level, it's very hard to beat them. Very hard. And it's hard to see him losing. Jimbo Allen, Wardley versus Usyk, undisputed. Yeah, go ahead, take her. Go ahead, pick her up. I think, I think that Usyk right now, I don't see, like I said before, or like I was saying, I don't see nobody beating Usyk. Wardley gives him a heck of a fight. I know that, but nah. Listen, I'm gonna tell you some guys that I don't see nobody beating right now. Usyk, Naoya Inoue, Terrence Crawford, and Shakur Stevenson. And Bam Rodriguez. Ain't nobody beating those guys. Nobody. Nobody that you put in front of those guys within their division. I'm not talking about nothing crazy that they could move up and beat everybody. But nobody that you put in front of them within their division is going to beat them. Nobody beats Crawford, Usyk, Inoue, and who did I miss? I missed somebody. But nobody beat those guys. The Hydrogram, man, I pray he doesn't retire and come back to squash the Roach. Too many people disrespecting Tank because of that fight. Now, you got it wrong, the Hydrogram. People not disrespecting Tank because of that fight. People disrespecting Tank because he's already 30 years old and still ain't fighting none of the best. That's why. People are tired of Tank Davis not fighting Shakur, not fighting Tio, not fighting Devin. People are tired of it. All three of these guys were world champions with you at the same time at 135. And you never express interest in fighting any of them guys, man. Come on. Come on. That's it. We tired of the ducking. And I told you guys before, Tank Davis was either going to have to retire or move up to 140. And he's still not going to fight these guys. And look, after I said that he's already been talking about retirement, he's going to do that exhibition. We don't even know. We don't even know what's next. Jimbo Allen, what's up with Andy Cruz? Andy Cruz is going to fight Murataya. Cruz versus Murataya is going down. I got Andy Cruz winning that fight, by the way. Andy Cruz is another guy who, he's a special fighter, man. He's going to accomplish a lot of big things. Jimbo Allen, Conor Benn is looking good, man. I'm wondering how that rematch is going to play out with Chris Eubank Jr. You know why? Because we saw the first fight. It was a slugfest, tough fight. Is Chris going to come back and want to fight that type of fight again? That was a brutal fight. And I think Chris Eubank Jr. landed in the hospital for a few days after that. So does he want to fight that type of fight? Or is he going to use that footwork a lot more and try to stay away from Conor and try to box him more instead of, standing in the pocket and trading with him? Because that was a tough fight. The rematch, man, I have a hard time making a prediction. The first fight, I went with Conor Benn. I was like, Conor Benn's going to win this fight. But honestly, I went with Conor more off of emotions. You know, like the smaller guy fighting the bigger guy, the underdog. And we saw how it played out, but it was a heck of a fight. Clive Davis, Tank beat all these guys, bro. He's coming to beat all these guys. You just mentioned. Listen, I won't believe it until I see it. I can't believe it. How I'm gonna believe? There's nothing that I've seen so far that tell me that's gonna happen. Because remember when Tank had that list, that mythical list of the people that he was gonna fight? He didn't fight any one of them. He didn't fight any of them. Shakur was on that list. Devin was on that list. Tio was on that list. He didn't fight any of them. And then he told us about a list and ended up fighting, bringing Lamar Roach from the 130. We saw that fight played out, and next is Jake Paul. So that's wishful thinking, but nothing about Tank Davis' career tell me that he's gonna do that. If he does it, that would be awesome, but I don't see it happening. Free your mind. These boxers now don't want to take any losses on their record. I actually thought Conor Benn won that fight. Nah, I didn't see Conor Benn winning it. I know he landed some big shots, but I felt like he got outworked. He got outworked, and Chris Eubank Jr. landed a lot more punches on him than he landed on Chris. He did land some big ones, but I saw him lose in that fight. Timmy T, Bomac training Eubank Jr. this time, and they worked together before. When Chris Eubank Jr. lost to Liam Smith for the rematch, he brought in Bomac, and the results were there. He beat him up. Beat up Liam Smith. Supreme, you missing my Superman, you missing my comments, Jay. Hold on, let me scroll. Superman, yes, he can't guarantee a Roach win, or he would have done the rematch before this Jake fight. Of course he would have done the rematch first. That's what they were going to do. You see, people like to dismiss the facts when the facts don't align with what they want to believe. And I'm going to clarify that for you. Right after the fight finished, Tank Davis said that he wanted the rematch, right, in the post-fight interview. But they interviewed Jake Paul, and he said that he was going to climb the ring and call out Tank Davis, but he didn't do it, and their plans fell off because of what happened in this fight. So Tank Davis is going to do the rematch, and after the rematch, him and Tank are going to fight. Tank Davis and Lamar Roach had a date for the rematch. They had already agreed to the rematch. That thing wasn't even canceled. They never canceled the rematch. They just said, nah, we're not fighting that dude. And announced an exhibition with Jake Paul. That's why Lamar Roach sued them. That's why. The Hydro Grind. Why would he do the rematch first? Easy. To get the money, the Hydro Grind. If you could get, let me ask you a question, the Hydro Grind. If you could get $20 million in August and $100 million in December, so you're saying you shouldn't get the $20 million anymore because you're going to get more money later? Is that what you're saying? Because y'all acting like he was going to fight the rematch with Lamar Roach for free or something? Are you forgetting that Tank Davis is one of the most paid fighters in boxing? That you guys been telling us that he's the one that put the most butts in seats and sell the most pay-per-views and all of that stuff? So why will he not get that bag against Roach? You don't want him to get that bag? Because you thinking he might get his ass whooped? CYM. Question is, can Eubank Jr. beat Canelo or Crawford? I don't think he could beat Crawford. He can't beat Crawford. Can he beat Canelo? Nah, I don't think he could beat either. I don't think so. Clive Davis, I think Tank knocks him out in the rematch. I mean, but what about that first fight tells you that he knocks him out in the rematch. You know, Clive, why I think he doesn't knock him out in the rematch? Because the first fight didn't go the distance because Lamar Roach was running all over the place or trying to survive. Lamar Roach was walking Tank Davis down for 12 rounds, bro. And when Tank Davis stood his ground, Lamar traded with him and won a lot of those exchanges. So I don't see nothing in that fight that tells me Tank Davis is gonna knock him out. You got a lot of faith in him, but I gotta tell you, Clive, Tank Davis and his team don't got a lot of faith in that stoppage because they would have took the rematch if that's the case. I'll remind you, the rematch date would have already passed, and he could have still fought Jake Paul on the same date that they're gonna do that exhibition. So he didn't have to forego the rematch to do this exhibition. He could have did the rematch and still have months to prepare for an exhibition show. So the fact that he chose not to do the rematch, that's very telling, my guy. And by the way, I predicted that Lamar Roach was going to win the rematch. And Tank Davis ducked him. Free your mind. I truly believe that Tank didn't really want to fight Lamar Roach. His main focus was on Devin Haney or Shakur Stevenson. But it was issue with the contract dispute. Free your mind. Somebody lied to you. Tell me who lied to you. Whoever lied to you, tell me who it was. Because Tank Davis has never expressed interest in fighting Devin. Tank Davis has never expressed interest in fighting Shakur. Tank Davis has never been in any negotiation with either fighter or ever signed a contract of any way, shape, or form. So whoever told you that Tank Davis had an issue with contract dispute with Shakur and Devin, they lied to you, bro. Tell me who it is so I can call him a liar right now. Black Jericho, what you mean, why would he rematch his closest fight ever where he took a knee and stuck his head out the ring for help? I mean, I guess people don't want to see him prove that he could beat Lamar Roach. Like, the answer is simple. You got your ass whooped. You got gifted a draw. You need to rematch him. He earned that rematch. Why would he rematch? What kind of question is? Only a tankomaniac would ask that question. Only a tankomaniac. The Hydro Grind, the narrative is that he's going to retire and this is his last fight. If it is, then why would he do the rematch? But again, the Hydro Grind, you have said that it's about the money. The rematch represents $20 million. Why not? Why not make that bag? You don't want that money anymore? Or the money's only good if it's not coming from Roach? Free your mind. I want to see Devin Haney fight Shakur Stevenson or Keyshawn Davis. Superman. The Maniacs are in effect, in full effect. Free your mind. I want to see what Lamar Roach looked like when he fight Pitbull Cruz. Well, you saw what he looked like when he fight Tank Davis, and you saw Tank Davis ducking him. You see, you want to see the future, but you already saw what he put on Tank Davis. The Hydro Grind. Who here thinks Roach is the next big thing? Well, what kind of question is that? What kind of question is that? Who here think Tank Davis ducked Lamar Roach? That's the real question. You see the Hydro Grind? Tankomaniacs, pocket watching fans, look where your focus is. Who thinks he's the next big thing? You want to ask who thinks Roach is going to put more butts in seats too? And listen, we supposed to be real boxing fans, hoping and wondering who's going to fight the best, who's going to win, beat the best. You're here talking about, he's going to be the next big thing. Come on, the Hydro Grind. Don't do it like that. Yo, Superman, I got to tell him, man, somebody lying to him. Who told you, free your mind? Who told you that Tank Davis was in contract dispute with Shakur and Devin? Who told you that? I need to know so I can call him a liar right here. When you give me a name or a platform, I'm going to be like, you a liar. That never happened. Just let me know who it was. I don't want people to be bamboozling you into thinking that stuff happened when it never did. Free your mind. Now, if Lamar Roach beat Pitbull, then I can truly believe that Tank was ducking him on that rematch. That if that's what you need, that's on you, my guy. Everybody knows that he ducked that rematch. You got a draw. You took a knee. You got a point deduction. You should have lost the fight because the point deduction didn't happen. And you got free your mind. I'm gonna show you that you're not just a Tank fan. You're a Tankomaniac, an extreme level Tankomaniac, and I'm gonna prove it to you right now. Tank Davis fought his toughest fight of his career. He had a rematch date set, and he walked away from the rematch and refused to fight the guy that beat him. And you still don't want to see it as a duck. Look, for you to see it as a duck, Lamar Roach has to go somewhere else and do something else so that you can come back and say, oh, yeah, this was a duck. That's like extreme level of Tankomaniac mentality. You don't go by what actually happened. You need something else. You need Lamar Roach to do something else. Bro, we got a rematch day set. And the guy said, nah, I'm not fighting that rematch anymore. Boom! I'm going to do an exhibition now. And you got the audacity to say that you need something else to know that it's a duck. Tankomaniac. The Tankomaniac club, you guys think different. Clive Davis, I think Cruz wins the fight with Roach. Well, Clive, you got Tank knocking Lamar Roach in the second fight. So I would expect you to see it that way. Then what's going to happen? When Lamar Roach made Pitbull Cruz look easy, you see Clive Davis, what happens is that there's fans, you guys pick sides. You're already in Tank Davis' side. Free Your Mind is already in Tank Davis' side. So when you're already in Tank Davis' side, that's it. Everybody else is not as good. Everybody else, look, the hydro grind is Tank Davis gonna be. Is this guy gonna be the next big star, Lamar Roach? Who thinks that? You guys just can't accept that Lamar Roach whooped his ass and he ducked. So instead of accepting that, look, you got Cruz beating Lamar Roach. This other guy needs Roach to do something different so that he accept that this was a duck. You guys just can't accept what's in front of us, what actually happened. You keep looking for these angles to defend Tank Davis' honor. When it's obvious, he brought... Look. What I'm about to say, you can't correct it. Because it's facts. Tank Davis brought Lamar Roach from the 130 division. They fought, and Lamar Roach gave him the toughest fight of his career. And in this fight, Tank Davis took a knee, but it was a TGD Promotions. It was his show, his people in there. The referee didn't do nothing about it. They didn't deduct no points. The fight ends in a draw, and that point deduction would have handed Tank Davis the first loss of his career. Now, you can correct me if there's anything I said that wasn't a fact. After beating the closest fight of his career, getting the only blemish on his record, which is that draw, Tank Davis had a rematch day set to rematch the opponent that gave him the toughest fight of his life. And he chose not to fight the rematch and even get sued, because you know if we got a contracted rematch and you can't fight somebody else. He preferred to get sued than to fight that rematch. How much more blatant does a duck need to be for y'all to see it? I understand that you're a Tankomaniac. I understand that you love Tank. I understand that you guys want to defend Tank no matter what. But he ducked Lamar Roach, and the whole world knows that you guys, the Tankomaniacs, are the only little group that doesn't accept it. The whole planet, in Africa, in Europe, in China, everywhere, people know Tank Davis ducked Lamar Roach. You guys are finding crazy angles to explain it away. Like, no, it's not a duck because what happened was... That's crazy. That's crazy. Come on now. Come on. Clive Davis, bro, how was Tank duck? But he was preparation for the rematch. But then he got locked up, bro. You see, Clive Davis, that's what you call very, very weak excuses. Because you're saying, but he got locked up. So what does that mean, getting locked up? That he couldn't postpone the rematch? That, well, he got locked up, so he can't fight the rematch anymore. Clive, the crazy thing about what you're saying, bro, Tank Davis spent literally like a day and a half. He bailed out right away. I don't even think he spent a day and a half. He came out right away. What are you talking about, Clive? Clive, you're acting like Tank Davis spent 6 months in jail and he missed a fight. He literally spent like a night in jail and bailed out. Well, what are you talking about? Got locked up. My man spent a day in jail. And those charges been dropped. What are you talking about, Clive? Here's what I'm telling you, Clive. As a hardcore Tank Davis fan, you want to defend him no matter what. This guy ducked the toughest fight of his career. Duck. Blatantly. We got a date set. And you're saying that he didn't have to fight him because he got locked up? I'm pretty sure, Clive Davis, that you're aware they could have just postponed the fight another month and they didn't have to postpone it because he didn't spend no time in jail, bro. Tank didn't spend no time. He got locked up and bailed out right away. But again, you're giving him an excuse. You're giving him a valid excuse and a reason why you think it's okay for him to not fight Lamar Roach. When the whole world knows, Clive, let me be the one to tell you whether you accept it or not, whether you want to accept that reality, I'll be the one to tell you, my guy. Let me look at you in the eyes while I tell you this. I want to look at you in the eyes and tell you this. Clive Davis. Tank Davis did not take that rematch versus Lamar Roach because they understood that they could lose that fight. They understood what happened in the first one. They understood that they got gifted that draw. They went back. They looked at the tape. They also understood that point deduction that Tank Davis deserved, that would have lost them the fight. So they lost the fight, and a referee's mistake gave them the draw. I need you to understand that. So the reason why they didn't take the rematch is because they know if we lose this fight to Lamar Roach, there is not going to be no Jake Paul back. He's not going to fight us coming off of a loss. That's the reason why they didn't fight him. If they felt like they could have knocked out Lamar Roach in the rematch like you think, they would have did the rematch, knocked him out, got a quick 20 million, and then still fought Jake Paul. But it ain't play out that way because they know they lost to the Lamar Roach, and they didn't want that rematch. They say, yo, let's not do this rematch. This guy's going to take away that O. That O that we've been protecting a whole career of protecting that O from Shakur, protecting that O from Devin, protecting that O from Tio. We can't let Lamar take it from us. Let's move on to Jake Paul. We're not fighting him. That's what happened. Whether you want to accept it or not, I'm trying to tell you the reality of what took place. There you have it, my people. Black Jericho. Not even 24 hours. Tank was in the slammer. He needed a year to get back in shape. Superman. Sad story, bro. Duck, duck, duck. Toy Mafia. Come back, Duck Master. I mean, maybe Tank won't retire. Hopefully he doesn't retire. You know that one of the things that's being floated around, and the first one to say it was Rick Glazer, is that Tank Davis is going to get the bag in this fight, retire right away, and then come back when he's running out of money. I really have a hard time believing that, because I think that Tank Davis has a good team around him, and I think that they're going to be investing money and really preparing him financially for the future so that he doesn't go broke. So I think, if they buy, multiple properties and have multiple good investments, then it's a possibility that he doesn't come back. If he's really focused on protecting that O like he has been, he may not come back, because that's a way to guarantee that he's going to keep that O. John Parham been listening, and y'all going to leave my ninja Tank alone. I mean, Tank a great fighter. He just don't fight great opponents. He fight real good opponents, not great ones. Arvis Tuck, he fought Jake for the money. Stop it. Lamar Road purse would not have been nowhere close to the bag. Would have did for the money. Um, so let me respond to that. Arvis Tuck. Let me debunk that for you real quick. Because that's a real weak narrative that I've debunked a million times. Bro, the Lamar Roach fight would have took place over a month ago. And the Jake Paul fight was for the end of the year. That means, Arvis Tuck, that he could have got the bag with Lamar Roach a while back and then still got the bag with Jake Paul at the end of the year. He could have got both bags. So while you try to suggest and float the narrative that Tank Davis had to take one or the other, oh, this was way more money, he had to take this, that's cap, that's a lie, that's misinformed, that's uneducated, and you need somebody like me to tell you how it really is. Because no, I'm not comparing the purses. I'm not saying that he was going to make more money with Roach. I'm saying that he could have fought Roach and still fought and got that back from Jake Paul. Why would you duck a rematch with the guy who everybody saw whoop your ass? Why? John Parham, he be back in late 2026. Tank doing all this on purpose. You see, but that stuff now you making it about assumptions. I don't know why he doing it, my G. So you can make it about what you think it is, but that's not gonna convince me. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh, John Parham assumes that he's doing it on purpose. So it probably is. I'm not. You know me, my G. I don't do that. Black Jericho, Tank stands thinking hard for Tank. Superman, my Brody, stop the cap. He ain't doing nothing on purpose. He took the duck option. That's how I see it, man. Duck option. Knew Lamar Roach was gonna whoop him, and said, "Nah, man, we don't need this L right now. We don't need to take another our first loss. It would have been another loss because the first one should have been a loss." Arvis Tuck, bro, he didn't get hit when he took the knee. What are we talking about? Arvis Tuck, now you just showed me that you're a serious tankomaniac. Because he did, in fact, get hit. I invite you to go to my channel and see it in slow motion. He got hit with a stiff jab right in the eyeball. Bang! When he got hit, bang! He actually went like that and then took a knee. So, yes, he was hit. That shit was debunked a very long time ago, Arvis Tuck. I can't believe you saying that. That shit was debunked a long time ago. Go look for the video. I posted in slow motion. Not only did he get hit, it's already been ruled that the referee made a mistake, and that was a 10-8 count that he missed. Like, you still fighting for Tank's honor like that? You also believe that he really had Vaseline in his hair? You believe that too? Come on, man. Come on. Clive Davis. You know what's so funny, bro? Is the fact that Tank had one off night. Come on. You see, Clive Davis? That's the thing about being a hardcore fan of a fighter. That when they don't do what you want them to do, you turn it into an off night. And so as soon as it doesn't happen the way you wanted it, it's an off night. Maybe, just maybe, Clive Davis, Lamar Roach was better than you thought he was. Maybe Lamar Roach had the skills to do that. As opposed to, hey, just Tank Davis wasn't the same. That's a weak approach, Clive Davis. Why Tank Davis had an off night? Why Lamar Roach didn't just give him an off night because he's that good? So what you do is that you take away merit from Lamar Roach and try to say that, no, it's Tank that wasn't the same. That's weak, bro. That's weak. He got beat by the better man, and the referee awarded him a draw. That's the reality of what happened. In fact, Tank had one, but Shakur almost got knocked out in the last fight. Shakur almost got knocked out in his last fight. Bro, I don't know what you was watching, Clive. Like, the whole world watched Shakur put on a masterclass on this guy, like, outbox him, looking like Floyd out there. I don't know what you're talking about. You almost got knocked out. You see? Look, that's how you show, again, the tankomaniac mentality. You got to fight for Tank no matter what. And you got to attack the other fighters. And when the other fighters are better than Tank, you find a weird-ass attack. Like, for you to say that Shakur almost got knocked out, like, that's a weird-ass attack on Shakur. And look, you randomly bring up Shakur to say that he almost got knocked out when he made it look easy against Zepeda. Look at the difference. Shakur pitched a shutout. A shutout against Zepeda. 12-0. Completely dominated him. While Tank Davis got beat up by Lamar Roach. You really want to compare those two fights, bro? Really? My goodness. Clive Davis. Shakur dominated Zepeda for 12 rounds. Pitched a shutout. Tank Davis got gifted a draw versus Lamar Roach. Those are the two fights that you're comparing. I'm telling you, Tankomania fandom reaches a new level. You guys go to a new level to defend your point of view. Even if it don't make no sense, you make it make sense inside your head so that it can make sense. How are you comparing a guy that Shakur dominated? Made him look easy. Made him look like a third shift Wendy's supervisor. You're going to compare that to Lamar Roach and Tank Davis? Lamar Roach, who had Tank Davis taking a knee. Lamar Roach, who had him, Tank turning his back on the action and having his face white mid-rounds. Tank Davis, who was giving him shoulders and shoving him down out of frustration. You're going to compare those two fights? Come on, Clive. You got to do better than that, Clive. Cameron Terrell, Lamar Roach is better than Zepeda. I'm not comparing Lamar Roach to Zepeda. I'm not comparing them. What I am saying, though, is that how could you even compare Shakur versus Zepeda and Tank versus Roach? Shakur dominated Zepeda. Tank got beat up by Roach and gifted a draw by the referee. So you just showed up to the convo late, Cameron. But Clive said, well, Shakur almost got knocked out by Zepeda. Shakur almost got knocked out by Zepeda? Huh? Can we really compare Shakur and Zepeda and Tank and Roach? That's nasty work. Nasty work. John Parham, damn Wendy's though. Wendy's. And third shift when nobody's there. Lonely. Cleaning and shit. You're supposed to be the supervisor, but you third shift. You're really the janitor. They got you cleaning. Cameron Terrell. So who fights the better competition? Who fights the better competition out of who? Out of Tank Davis and Lamar Roach? I mean, Tank Davis is going to be fighting an exhibition show next. He ducked Lamar Roach. You could talk about a whole resume. Tank Davis ducked Lamar Roach. Ducked Shakur Stevenson. Ducked Teofimo Lopez. Ducked Devin Haney. What can I tell you? See, the thing about boxing is, if I'm a fighter, I can only fight the people who's willing to fight me. But if I'm a big star, like Tank Davis, I could fight whoever I want. If Tank Davis wants to, he could fight Shakur next. He could fight Teo. He could fight Devin. He could fight any of them. They can't fight him. They can't pick him. All of them wish they could. He don't want to fight them. So that's the thing, Cameron, that you have to understand. Tank Davis has more options than anybody because he can fight whoever he wants. Nobody want to fight Shakur. Look. Tank Davis beat Pitbull. Pitbull got a offer from Shakur, and they turned it down. Ryan Garcia got beat by Tank. He got asked to fight Shakur. He wasn't having it. Rollies got beat by Tank. You say you don't want to fight Shakur. So why would you compare Tank and Shakur resume when everybody want to fight Tank and nobody want to fight Shakur? Why compare names? Superman. This ain't mental. He ducked for his face. He would have easily beat Roach if he was that simple. He know it was not the case. Of course. Of course. To anybody that that's saying, no, no, he was just gonna do something else. That's all. No, 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 no. This is the date for the Lamont Roach fight, and this is the date for the Jake Paul fight. He could have got the bag against Lamont Roach, 20, $30 million, whatever, and then still got the bag versus Jake Paul. He could have did that. But we know why he chose not to. We know. We know why he chose not to do that rematch. That ass whooping was on the way. That's why. Cameron, Terrell, he's going to spin the block. You're right, John Parham. All right. That's an assumption. I know that's an assumption that you like. But there's nothing that I've seen that tells me that assumption is accurate. I haven't seen anything. I have seen Tank Davis talk about retirement. I have seen him duck all of his fights. I've seen him duck Lamont Roach. Let's see. Rick Glazer says Tank Davis is absolutely going to retire after getting this back from Jake Paul. That's what Rick Glazer said. And he said that he got it from a source within Tank Davis' team. Let's see. We're going to find out because talks of retirement have been floated around by Tank Davis. And I got to point something else out, my peoples. Besides the talks of retirement, you got to look at what Tank Davis said before agreeing to fight Jake Paul. I want to point out that Tank said he was going to fight either Manny Pacquiao or move up to the 140 division. You guys remember that part? Or Manny Pacquiao or moving to the 140 division. Why am I saying this to you? Because it was clear that he was not planning on fighting Jake Paul. I mean, that he was not planning on rematching Lamont Roach. He wasn't planning. You see how somebody earlier said, and for all of you that have said that Tank Davis was going to fight Roach, but he's not going to fight him because he's going to get the bag with Jake Paul. Right? Bro, he already showed that he wasn't going to fight Lamont Roach anyways before he was talking to Jake Paul. When he told us that his next fight was either going to be Manny Pacquiao or at 140, he let us know that he wasn't going to rematch Lamont Roach. I posted a video about that. The following day, after he said that, I posted about it. I was like, wait a minute. How is Tank Davis saying that his next fight is Manny Pacquiao or he's moving up to 140? He got a rematch. They got a rematch contracted for the 135 division. What are he talking about? Well, little did we know that he was going to duck Lamont Roach. So, while people use the Jake Paul bag as the excuse, I want you to listen to this, Clive Davis. While you use the Jake Paul bag as the excuse for the duck because he's going to make all this money, Tank Davis already showed us that he was gonna duck Lamont Roach before Jake Paul came into the picture. Before he was even in negotiations with Jake Paul, he already let us know he wasn't gonna fight that rematch. But you forgot. Tank Davis himself, out of his own Twitter account, posted, my next fight is either gonna be Manny Pacquiao or at the 140 division. You forgot about that, right? You forgot about that. So if he's telling us, I'm going to fight Manny Pacquiao or at 140, that tells you that he still was not in negotiations with Jake Paul. You see, he didn't duck Lamont Roach for Jake Paul. I'm showing you right now. I'm debunking that weak logic, that weak excuse. I'm showing you. Come on, my peoples. Cameron Terrell, family problems came in the sport for him. You see, now you got another angle. Now you got family problems. Cameron Tyrell, let me tell you something. Everybody face family problems. Everybody face personal problems. Everybody got a family that's dealing with health issues. Everybody got a friend that died and a family member that died. That's the weakest shit that you could ever use for a fighter. Everybody dealing with shit, my brother. Everybody, this is real life. We all live in real life, my brother. Why you acting like Tank Davis? All fighters deal with shit too. Buster Douglas had his mother die right before he put the beats on Mike Tyson. Oh, he got problems. He got family problems. That don't mean shit, bro. Everybody got problems. You think these people, because they famous, because they celebrities, their life is perfect? Everybody got problems, bro. That's a weak excuse. Oh, he had problems. So because he had problems, that gives him a reason to duck Lamont Roach and go fight an exhibition? No. He got problems. Everybody got problems, my people. Everybody got their own. Look, one of the most interesting things that I can tell you guys right now is that, and I'm telling you this as Jay Stradamus, one of the most interesting things that I've noticed in my analytical persona is that people focus on two things. The things that are going on in their life, as think about it, your story. You know what you've been through, right? Whatever adversity, whether it's a fight, whether you got jumped, whether you got cheated on, whether you got caught cheating, whether all the things that happen in life, right? And what people tend to focus is everything that they go through and everything that a celebrity go through. Oh, the celebrity, oh, he going through this, oh, he going through that. But let me tell it to you how it really is, my peoples. We all go through shit in life. We all deal with shit in life. So when you sit there, you say, no, because Tank was going through stuff with the family. Motherfucker, you gone through stuff with your family. I gone through stuff with everybody gone through stuff with their family. What are you talking about? What are we really talking about? Oh, now he going through stuff. Everybody goes through stuff in life. Even though Instagram be telling you that their life is perfect and that they just be balling out of control and everything is beautiful, no. Everybody goes through shit in life, my peoples. The richest dude chasing some shorty around who cheating on him. The wealthiest dude going crazy because he got robbed. The people you least expect was in a club drinking and somebody smacked the shit out of him. All type of stuff happen in real life, my peoples. So you gotta stop trying to defend fighters with, oh no, he going through stuff. He just going through. You ain't gone through stuff? You ain't gone through nothing? Or let me ask you a question. When you going through stuff, they told you at work, oh no, you don't gotta come to work. Because you going through stuff. Take the day off. As a matter of fact, take the week off. You going through a lot of shit. They do that at your job? You know anybody who goes through that? Oh, I'm going through stuff. I'm not going to go to work today, man. I'm going through stuff. Can you do that? Because if you a millionaire, you could do that. Hey, I'm going through stuff. Let me lay down in my bed for a day or two. But guess what, my G? When I'm going through stuff, I still got to get up at the same time. I still got to go to work. I still got to make my money. I got my son is about to be 4 years old, my G. When my son gets sick, I got to take him to the hospital. I got to come home. I still got to go to work. They don't want to hear that shit. Nobody want to hear that shit. So if nobody want to hear that shit when I'm going through shit, I don't want to hear about no celebrity millionaire with cars, with chains, with a mansion that he's going through shit. I don't want to hear that, bro. This real life. We all go through shit, my peoples. Don't use that as an excuse for nobody. Because when you going through shit, nobody's going to let you use that as an excuse. When you going through shit, you're not going to be able to take the day off at your job. They ain't not going to pay you. They not going to tell you, stay home. We still going to pay you. You're going through shit. But then when it's Tank Davis, y'all want to play the emotional fans. And y'all want to play the empathy fans. Oh, he's going through shit. You know, he's going through things. So what? We all going through shit. And? Come on, my peoples. You need to understand that. While you on social media like, no, he going through shit. He's going through stuff. Is Tank Davis going to care when you going through shit? Nobody going to give a damn when it's you going through shit, bro. That's just the reality. And I'm not saying that, because when you say no one, it's like an exaggeration, right? John Parham, not all of us, bro. That's an exaggeration. There's always going to be somebody who actually does care. But my point is that in life, we usually focus on the stuff that we going through and then the stuff that a celebrity is going through. Oh, he's going through stuff. He's going through stuff. Nah, yo, this real life. Superman, yeah, I'm going through mad stuff. And you see what I'm saying, Superman? And I bet you at your job, they're not going to say, oh, yo, you should take a couple of weeks off because you're going through stuff. Now, because you're going through stuff, Superman, is anybody cutting you a break? Is anybody treating you better? Is anybody looking out for your well-being? Like, oh, my God, Superman is going through it. Or you realize that you got to dig yourself out that shit. Because at the end of the day, people not going to do it. They're not going to help you. John Parham, life is a MF for sure. My people, look, let me put y'all on. I'm going to put you on real quick, right? And I need an image. I need the right background for what I'm about to tell you guys. I need the right background. I can't just tell you without it. I'm going to put you guys on. I'm going to be giving you some more J. Stradamus stuff over here. Get ready. Get ready. Bringing this good old J. Stradamus to you. So, let me put you on, my people. Have you guys, and I'm asking just to get a confirmation, because I'm pretty sure what the answer is going to be. You guys seen The Matrix, right? You guys seen The Matrix? About to give y'all this real J. Stradamus. So, if you've seen The Matrix, and you're gonna know that there's a concept. Seen The Matrix, you're gonna know that there's a concept about a blue pill and a red pill, right? You guys remember that? CeeLo 310, what up, my boy J. Stradamus? Showed up at the right time, my brother. I'm about to give you guys some real J. Stradamus stuff right now. So if you saw The Matrix, it's about you take a blue pill or a red pill. You could either live the reality or you can just live the, you know, the perception that they built for you, which is easier to cope with. I need you to understand, my people, that The Matrix, in a metaphorical way, is more real than people understand. We are living in the Matrix. There's a lot of shit going down that people just don't understand, that is going down right in front of our eyes, right in front of our face. A lot of shit is happening, and I can't I can't get really too much into details because I know if I do one way or another, I have to pay, and I don't want to have to pay for that. But I will just tell you, do your very best to do research and find out what's really going on, man. We're living in the matrix. The people that I'm gonna just give you a little bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Start looking for all these people who abuse children. Start looking around and seeing all these people who abuse children and who get away with it for years and years, and then they get caught when they 40, 50, 60 years old. How did somebody abuse children for so many years and get away with it? And if you do enough research, you're gonna find out that it happens because people put themselves in a position where they're able to get away with those things. So do your research, and you'll see that we're living in a world where a lot of the times the people who are putting out an image like they're the best people, a lot of time those are the worst people, y'all. A lot of time those are the most dangerous people. Those are the people that are doing the worst and most unimaginable things that you can think of. So we living in a world where sometimes the guy that you think is the bad guy is not really the bad guy. The real bad guy is wearing a suit, is wearing a tie. He goes to church on Sundays. He has his Christian values. That's the guy that's the really bad guy. I won't get into details, but do a little bit of research, my people. We living in the matrix. We living in the matrix, ladies and gentlemen. Vic, Rolly, Barrios, and Pitbull all lost, yet still came a star from fighting Tank. Roach got a draw and talks like he won. Cameron, Terrell, belt to asses for that. Cameron Terrell, organ robbery is crazy work, and it's real. And you see, organ robbery is something that has been going down probably since before most of us was born. Been going down. Kids disappearing, people disappearing, been going down. But that's what I'm trying to tell you. We're living in the matrix. There's a lot of shit happening in this world that we have no idea. Some of us know about some things here and there, but there's a lot going on, man. We're living in a crazy world. We're living in a crazy world. Vic, Tank stars shine bright. I don't know, Vic. I know that you're a tankomaniac, but you just randomly just want to say that Tank is... Like, there isn't anybody here saying that Tank isn't a star. I don't know why you do that. Tankomaniacs, you guys feel like you need to keep repeating that he's a star. And you need to keep repeating. You need to keep repeating the names of the people that he beat and repeat like... Bro, y'all gave us the list of people that he beat, and y'all told us that he's a star a million times, Vic. You've been on this live 100,000 times, and 100,000 times you're trying to convince everybody that Tank is a star. Bro, you gotta move on from that. You got any other talking points? That's all you're gonna just always keep repeating for the rest of Tank's career, that he shine bright and that he's a star and that... Come on, bro. Come on, man. Clive Davis, who do you think Terrence should fight next? I'm going to give you the best answer to that question, Clive Davis. Taking into account that Terrence Crawford is now the only 3-division undisputed champion in history, taking into account that he's the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, I have to say, Terrence Crawford should fight whoever he wants to fight. At 38 years old, with the accomplishments that he has, he's earned that right. In fact, Jerome Boost Ennis, they asked him, what do you think, Terrence Crawford not going to fight you? He said, well, he's not going to fight me, but he earned the right to fight whoever he wants. He's the face of boxing. So that's where I'm at with it. I feel like he should go to 160 because that'll give him room to accomplish and get to another level of accomplishments. But he should fight whoever he wants to fight. That's who he should fight. And yo, I thought it was crazy. That fight, Crawford versus Canelo, I called the action live, right? And to me, it was crazy when the last round finished, that we all knew Crawford won the fight. Yo, they have not raised Crawford's hand yet. I want you to think about this. This guy beat Canelo. Beat the guy everybody said was going to knock him out. They haven't even raised his arm. They haven't even announced the winner. And people was already saying, fight Benavidez, fight Boots, fight, what? Fight Bebo. Bro, y'all didn't even let the guy go like this and celebrate. And y'all was already getting another opponent for him. Y'all was already getting him the bigger opponents and the stronger opponent. And the guy that you think is finally going to beat him. I was like, God damn, bro. Y'all not even going to let him be announced the winner and step out and go celebrate? You already got somebody else? After you spent 3 months saying that Canelo's going to knock him out, you couldn't even pause for a minute to give flowers? You couldn't even pause to say, yo, he proved me wrong. He a great fighter. He did it. He did what I thought he couldn't do. None of that. Straight into fight Bebo and fight Benavidez. I'm like, damn, yo, y'all angry. Crawford made people angry to where they can't even give him flowers. So I'm like, yo, taking into account the accomplishments, yo, come on now. Let the guy live. I know some people hated on him his whole career, but damn, this is time already. It's time to say, yeah. We was wrong. He got it. He's the guy. At what point? Come on. We're going to see Boots and Bud. We're not going to see Boots and Bud. We're not going to see it. And that's why I think it's crazy, because Crawford already said he's not moving to 154. Boots is not going to skip weights. He's going to stay at 154. Boots already said that the fight is not happening. He accepts it. And Crawford can do whatever he wants. He earned that. So we got the 2 fighters already acknowledged that the fight is not going to happen. But you got the hating-ass fans who don't want to give Crawford credit, who think Boots could beat him. Fight Boots. He got to fight Boots or he ducking. Like, come on, man. He's not going to 154. He already made that clear. So if Crawford could do anything, and if I could say what he should do, go to 160 and win some titles over there. And accomplish in another division. Easy work. That's doable. John Parham, Benavidez not going to 168. Of course Benavidez not going to 168. Listen, another fight, that is not happening. David Benavidez and Terence Crawford is not happening. The only people who want that fight to happen is the people who were begging for Canelo to knock Crawford out, who were sure Canelo was going to knock him out. Now Crawford beat up Canelo. How you go from saying that Crawford was too big to 160 for 160, and now you want him to fight Benavidez? You were just telling me that he was too little. He was too little at 168. Now he needs to go to 175? Ya, loco. Tan de pinga ustedes, vi. Clive Davis. I also think he should go down to 160 and fight for undisputed. I think at 160 there's a possibility. I think there's a possibility at 160, especially since 2 of the champions are unified. Not only that, Clive, this is why I think that 160 is the best option. Think about this. Right now, Crawford is part of a handful of fighters who've been world champions in 5 divisions or more. Floyd Mayweather is one of those champions who've been a 5-division champion. If Crawford goes down to 160 and wins a title there, he's going to be a 6th-division champion. You know who's a 6th-division champion or better? Only 2. Oscar De La Hoya, Manny Pacquiao. Those are the only 2 fighters in the history of boxing who won titles in 6 or more divisions. Terrence Crawford is about to join that company and surpass Floyd Mayweather in the amount of divisions that he won titles in. Come on now. Come on now. Just continue to accomplish, continue to add to his greatness. So I like the idea of him going to 160 and accomplishing. Is he going to go for undisputed? I don't know. I don't know if he goes for undisputed, to be honest. But it's possible. It is possible. You got fighters unifying against each other. He might be able to become undisputed in 2 fights, 2 or 3 fights. Maybe 2. Cameron Terrell, salute Clive Davis for having a regular conversation in the sport of boxing. JJ said there's 38 people in the building, only 23 likes, man. I'm telling you. I already told you, I'm going to start doing episodes of Boxing for Breakfast, sitting on a unicycle, juggling 2 bowling balls with my left hand with a shower cap on. And people be like, damn, this guy's doing it like that. Let me hit the like button. My peoples, I want to give a shout out to everybody who tuned in today. Y'all already know what it is. We do it for the love of the sweet science. No capping, no fake news, no making stuff up out of thin air. Just straight up boxing, my peoples. This is what we do. Salute to everybody who tuned in this morning. Cameron Terrell, JJ Zendejas, Clive Davis was in the building. Wes Dusset, HST010. Golly, what kind of name is that, my brother? That's tough. Just Business was in the building. John Parham, Ken Wagner, Wilson Clear, and everybody else who tuned in, my peoples. I really appreciate you guys. Check out the live from yesterday. Joe Cortez, you know, he spent about an hour with me. Not only he gave me the breakdown on the stoppage between Parker and Wardley. Not only did he give me the breakdown on that stoppage, but Joe also told me some great stories, some situations that he got to see, you know, as a professional referee. He done it for so many years. So check out that live, my people. I think that you'll find it very interesting. It was a real interesting conversation. There you have it, my peoples. I'll see you tomorrow at 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. By the way, I also posted a short video this morning, and you'll get to see a brief snippet of what Joe had to say about the stoppage between Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley. So check out that short video. I'll see you guys tomorrow. You see it, man. I'm Jay Smith. This is Boxing for Breakfast, where you get your healthy dosage of sweet science early in the morning. My peoples, one love to everybody, man. I'm out of here. Peace. Bam.